Hi everyone, it's Leslie Ray. This is a special edition of Leslie Ray's Crafty Gig. I spent most of this past holiday doing extra streams, working on some projects and stuff, and this week is my off week, and I was getting kind of sad and lonely because I'm having a lot of fun spending extra time on the stream. So we could title this one, Hi, I'm Leslie Ray and I'm Addicted to Streaming, if we want to. But what I'm doing is I'm getting ready for a craft show and playing with some of the different items that I'm getting ready. And so I thought I would just stream, and if people join in and trickle in and stuff, it'll be fun. First thing we need to do here is, this was the other thing, is I had this wicked cool manicure that I got, and didn't want to waste it, because look at those babies. Aren't they shiny? It looks like I just dipped them in a snow globe. Isn't that cool? My manicurist is the bomb. I don't look underneath, because underneath is my crafty fingers. But yeah, those are pretty. Love them. Can't waste a good manicure, right? So we should do something so y'all can enjoy the pink with the frost. So that's where we are. Like I said, I have a crafty show coming up this weekend, on Friday actually, and I am bringing several things. Several of us do it together. My husband does his paracord bracelets. If you're not familiar with what a paracord bracelet is, let me show you. Here is one. This is one he made for me for fall. They're really pretty. Paracord is paracord 550, and he makes these. And if they're a solid color like this one, the length of the bracelet in inches, that's how many feet of cord are in there. So like this is an 8-inch bracelet, 8 feet of cord, one string, 8 feet of cord. And this is super, super heavy duty stuff. The single cord within it has 7 strands. And that cord can, I believe, pull the weight of like 500 pounds. And when it's all zigzagged together like this, it's like 2,000 pounds. I mean, it's some heavy duty stuff. They call them survivor bracelets because a lot of the military have them, and they can use them. They can take them apart and use them. So if they're caught in a survival situation and they need 8 feet of string, there you go. Take apart your bracelet. And it's really easy to take apart because it has, the ends are like right tucked in here. And so all you have to do is just pull them back out and then unstring your bracelet. And there you go. You're good to go. Now, some of them have 2 colors of cord. Like this well-loved yellow jacket bracelet of my daughter's. And this would be take the number of inches, that's how many feet of cord, and divide it by 2 because there's 2 colors, one of each. And then, so that's how, but it's got lots and lots of cord in it. So he's going to be there making those, crafting those, making them all super cool. We've got some beautiful colors for Christmas. You can order those on my fan page. I have a little shop set up on my fan page on Facebook, and I'll give you the address to that, and you can order those for yourself if you like them. They make great presents. And we can get those shipped out to you. We do PayPal and all that kind of stuff. So one of the things I'm bringing are some upcycled water bottle bracelets, and you've seen that done a jillion times over. Heidi Borchers is the brainstorm behind that, and she deserves 100% credit for that. And the other thing I want to take with me are some little notebooks, which I don't want to work on notebooks tonight. I want to work on this because this has to dry. But the little notebooks are going to be little notepads. Let me see. I have one, the size that it's going to be, only it's not going to be turkeys. But I had some turkey ones that I made. earlier, it's not going to be turkeys though. The ones I'm going to do are going to be little reindeers and little Santas and little snowmen. But it's similar to this, and it's just a little place that you can, you know, keep notes, and it's bound with a bind it all. Very simple. One of my streams before Christmas, we're going to do some Christmas gifty tags, and we're going to do them with little punchy art. I'm going to show you how simple little punch art things are to make. Again, you know, very simple. This could be great little stocking stuffers for people to keep up with their things. So that's what we are taking. My son will also be taking his photographs. He has some beautiful photography that he's done, and he's going to be taking that. I'm going to be getting examples of that up on the web also, so people can order those. Those are not on the web yet. And then these I thought I was going to make a whole slew of these. In case you didn't recognize them, this is little Christmas trees, and this is made out of casting resin. And this mold is a mold I bought about 23 years ago, and let's just say the casting resin won. Now, what I would like to do for you is, because I really like this mold and I would like to make some more trees like this, so I'm going to make my own mold out of mold putty. And I know several of you have worked with, or have seen my friend Amanda do this. Amazing Mold Putty is the product. It's by AMP. And they have amazing mold putty, amazing casting resin, amazing casting clear resin, all kinds of really cool things. And it comes in two parts. You have the part A, and you have the part B. Bueno, right? And so to make a mold, and I want to make a mold that I can cast one of these at a time. It's not too hard to do. You get you some part A and some part B. And the way I like to do it is I like to see, I want it to be enough to cover this. So I'm going to press it out like this and see if it's going to cover it. Now, this is just half of what I'm going to use. So knowing that this is going to be just half of what I'm going to use, if I use just about the same amount of the yellow, it will be just about perfect. So, but I want to use just a little more because I want to try to make this where I can get it as even as possible. When I go to put in my resin, I want it to sit flat. So I'm going to give it just a little bit more. And I'm rolling it up in a ball, so I can then mimic the size ball that I'm going to use on this side. And so now I'm getting part B, which is the yellow putty. And that ball's just a little bit bigger, so I'm going to pinch some off and put back in. And together, when they get together, they make a very strong silicone type rubber. And what's unique about this is that I could make this because, seriously, my mold that I poured these into and got my stuff out of, it's trashed. It's beyond trashed. Trash does not even start to cover it. It just died. And, you know, I could be upset about that, except for it's 23 years old, people. It's a very, very old plastic candy mold that I bought before I was even married to make butter molds out of for Christmas dinner. And I loved it. I've used it many, many years. Haven't used it so much in the last probably 10 years. But it's just brittle. And it died. And it's okay. We're moving on. But because Amazing Mold casting resin makes such an awesome, I mean, like, look at all the detail. I can cast this. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to look at the backs of these to see which one is the fullest one from my original cast, which I think is probably this one. And what I'm looking at is, like, look on the back. And just for purposes of example, I'm going to show you this one. This one, you see that kind of little lip it has? I don't know if you can hardly see it at all. Anyway, you can kind of see it there. It's got a little lip. For the purposes of my craft tonight, this will be okay. But this tells me that the mold was not entirely full when it was cast. Whereas this one, no lip. In fact, it looks a little over the lip, and that's okay. There's a little bit of lip down here. Just a little, just a smidge. But mainly I can feel that. You don't see it so much. So this one is probably the fullest cast of it that I have. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it as my mold. I want to take my little brush and kind of sweep the dust off of this as much as possible. And now I'm going to stick these two together. And at this point, you kind of got to move a little fast. Not a whole lot fast, but you don't want to dilly-dally. Because once the yellow and the white, or gray, get smooshed together, they become this molecule that will start to harden. And it warms up a little bit too. It doesn't get as warm as the casting resin does when it gets heated up, but this will get a little warm. So okay, so I like it. Once again, I'm going to roll it the way I want it. Okay, now I've got a big ball. And I'm going to push this on here. And I want to start down here at the end. And the reason I'm pushing it on here is because I want it to pick up all of the detail of it. And I'm having it go around. And I found that working on a piece of wood does not ruin the wood. I've worked on both stained wood and on non-stained wood, and it hasn't affected the surface, in case you're worried about that. Now I want to turn it over just to check on it, because I want to make sure that this is covered like I want it to be. Now, there we go. Looks pretty good. Now if I wanted to get all fancy, I could make some, I'm going to take a pinch over here and stick here by this edge. I could make some registration marks and like make it three-dimensional by sticking another one on top and molding it too. I don't want to do that. But essentially, I've lost my original mold, so I want to, I still like this, and I can do, you know, one at a time or whatever. But now I will have a mold to use, and I can use this mold for casting resin, for clear cast. I can use this mold for chocolate, butter. I can use it for paper clay, whatever. It's just that cool of a product, folks. Hi, Dawn. Look at me. I'm casting. Look at my nails. Ooh. See if we get them to focus for you. We had a close-up of them earlier, but aren't they pretty? I am glad you're joining me on your new computer too, Dawn. That is quite awesome. So there we go. We got a little mold putty going on. So as I explained, when I casted this, the casting resin one and my my 23-year-old candy mold of this nifty little goober here, it died. So what I'm doing is taking one of my molds or casted pieces and making a new mold for later. Yeah, they just don't make plastic like they used to, Dawn. Is what that boils down to. Is, you know, the plastic is less resilient than the mold. But I want to decorate these, but before I start decorating away, I want to, you know, make sure I have a good cast. I know, it's nice to be able to replace my mold with a new mold. So, granted, I won't be doing, you know, 8 or 9 at a time, but, you know, 1 at a time is not bad. So, my mold is essentially dry. It can finish curing here in a minute. But, yes, at least I still have that image. And before I get too carried away, I'm going to recast this, I think, just to make sure. So I'm going to leave this nice one aside. I'm not going to decorate it tonight. But I think this is going to be a good mold. It looks really good. It's got lots of detail in it. Yeah, I love this image. Love it. So this is going to hang out over here. Now, some other things that I casted recently, which are very cha-cha, and I'm very excited about. We're going to play with these tonight, too. Are these bad boys. Can you guess what they are? They are washers. I went to the store and I had a lot of fun at the store. I've purchased a whole slew of different types of washers, and this is what I originally started with. I pressed these all in here. And this was okay. I might use them for steampunking Dawn, but really, I love the idea of the donut jewelry. I'm really a big stone fanatic, and the idea of making faux donuts to use for bracelets and necklaces and all that kind of stuff just really appeals to me. And one of the coolest things I ever saw while doing the casting is casting all these faux gemstones. And I purchased, with my gift certificate that I won, I purchased a whole bunch of really cool molds, but none of them, of course, are donut molds. And so this is what I started with. This was the first mold I made. And some of them are not real. Let's see. Let me find one that's kind of just came out. Okay, this one's only had a little bit of sanding. They're not real consistent in their thickness. So, and I wanted to make sure that it was more consistent. And I didn't really like the way these turned out initially. With some significant sanding, they were improved, but still not so bueno. So, I didn't scrap this because this still has a purpose. But what I did is I ended up going back and remolding these, making sure to mold them with a lip. And so I fill to this lip, and yes, and this peels off real easy. Like this was for the big one, and so, you know, it's on here. It's all lipped in. Oops, sorry. It's on here. And then yes, it really is amazing. So when you have to peel it off, I mean, this is a very flexible mold. I don't know any other mold that you can do that with that it doesn't just go whoa and fall apart on you. So I made these 3 of the top 3 sizes, and that's what we're going to play with also. So we're going to do some fun stuff with those. And here, let me pick the ones up that rolled off the table while I was chatting with you. And these are so much lighter than an actual washer. They're more like these big washers. Oh my gosh. Wear them if you need a weapon, is what I'm saying. If you use the actual washer, because they are so heavy. And then these, are just fun. These are fun. So what I sanded with that worked really, really well is, besides, ye old fingernail file, I sanded with the sanding fabric. It's black and it's really thin grit. Great for wet sanding and dry sanding, but it's just called sanding fabric. I encountered that when I needed some fancy sandpaper for doing Pinewood Derby stuff. So that's what that is from. I have a buzzer going off. Can you hold just a minute, please? No, Mystery Supper is officially cooked. We had Mystery Supper tonight, and I was not sure. I was not sure what supper was going to be. So, it was Mystery Supper. So, we'll see how it goes. But, hello. Are we ready? I want to do some coloring. I may paint. I may do some stuff. I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm going to get a piece of cardstock, because I can, because it's there. I'm going to go with this green bottle. I'm sorry you don't feel good, Dawn. I have been fighting allergies. I'm taking some medicine that makes me have serious cotton mouth. Jeez. And I'm just constantly needing something to drink. This is alcohol ink. And I'm just gonna maybe pour some of that on there too, just to get some darker shades in there. You can color casting resin with all kinds of cool stuff. I like alcohol ink on it because it's just pretty. Yeah, I know. Isn't it nice? So I love how the alcohol ink gets into the crevices. I could have done this on my craft mat, but because I was doing several things, I just decided to go with it, with what I had. Oh my goodness. Okay. This piece of felt that I got, it has a little bit of hot pink on it. And it's been dry, right? And so I just now touched it with, from right here where the pink is, onto here, and it transferred the pink on there. It was very cute. But I didn't want it, so I'm going back over it with that. Yeah, right? So here's where this is going. This is really kind of fun. Now, we can do a couple of different things here. We can decide we want to go in and make our star yellow and just barely kind of tap on there. Oh, you can't see what it's doing, darn it. Just barely kind of tap on there, and then it starts getting all nice and yellowy. Like magic. Isn't that cool? I love how that does. To me, this makes having so worth it, you know? Cool, agreed. So if we needed to, we could also do, let's see, I'm just touching this barely to grab some of this extra liquid up. And so our star is all nice and got yellow star. And then where these are, we can put in some other colors. So now, if we wanted red, and let's say I don't have red, which I don't, I could use my blending solution. Where'd it go? And get the color completely off of the ball, and then use my Sharpie. So let's do that. Let's demonstrate that, shall we? Because that will be uber cool. So here's my Sharpie. Sharpie! Actually, it's a big marker. And so just gently, I'm not going to put a whole slew on it and spray it all over it. I just want to use it on this ball right here. This ball. Right there. And where it went around the... Can you see that? It took off some of the green too. We can go back with the green if we want to in a minute.
It's really dark green.
It's really dark green, just in case you're wondering. I'm going to blow on it to get it to dry right there, long enough to put my red on there. And I'm just grabbing a different red. I want a red that's fatter. You were wondering if it was really dark green? It's really dark green. Okay, here we are. Gonna color in with the red Bic. See? So isn't that fun? And so you can see it dry right before your eyes. So that's really cool. I like the way that works. So what I'm thinking of doing with these is doing some little necklaces. Very simple, easy little necklaces that could be added to like a little ribbon. Not charge, you know, $1 or $2. Something simple to have for people to just purchase for a little Christmas cheer. Thought this would be a cute little idea for the crafty boothy. So this time, to have a little control over the ball getting cleared off, I just put it on a piece of Kleenex. So I want to do one here, one there. I guess I'll do this one that's naked anyway. And color that bad boy in. Yes, there is an alarm going on in my house. That alarm is my husband's wake-up alarm. Knock on the door. On the wall, Will. It got quieter. Yeah, he has a series of alarms that goes off. And so, fortunately on Friday nights when I normally stream, we're not graced with such wonderful noises because, you know, the husband doesn't go to work and all that stuff. But since I'm doing these for the crafty show, and crafty show is over Friday, we may not have these available to make more of, so I wanted to share that because I also want to put this on my holiday handmade stuff. But also, I am going to have a lovely visit with one of my girlfriends, and so it's not my normal stream day, so I won't be streaming. So there you go. And then I want this one to have some gold dots, so I'm gonna use a little gold on there. Yes, I could do pens also. Pens would be very cool too. These are very easy because a little E6000 and anything sticks to it. And oops, the gold is getting a little crazy. Ah, crazy gold. Gold went over the edge. So, never fear. You don't have to fret. Maybe it'll focus. Maybe it won't. You can see the gold went over the ball, can't you? E6000 is really kind of Gorilla Glue-like. It's very amazing stuff. It's what came out before Gorilla Glue came out, actually. And it's really good at adhering non-porous things together. So I like it for this. Kind of like what that little bit of gold in there is doing to the green. I may rub some on there. I'm thinking. What would be a good way? This is a weird thing to use, but I'm going to use this. This is a very old water brush. Doesn't have any water in it. But I should be able to control better. Yes, bueno. The alcohol coming out. Yay. Really, I only had 2 gold balls on there on that whole mess. That might be a little ball right there. We're going to make it a ball. Make that a ball too. May not have been a ball originally. Okay, grab a drink. I'll be here. I'm just going to go back over some of this with this little brush to kind of add directly in some spots, some color, to kind of get the darks going into the crevices to make it look more dimensional. So if you're wondering what I'm doing with the brush. And the brush allows me to touch up around the gold too. I'm just kind of touching up here to just make it have some darker spots with the color. So there we go. Yes, write out recipes, Dawn. I'll put it on a piece of white here so you can kind of see better. Whoops. Or we can flip it over like that. So you can kind of see better where he went to. And then I'm going to let it dry a little bit and go back in and kind of put some glitter in there, I think. I think a little glitter will make it sparkly and fun. Okay, apparently mystery food is pretty bueno because I hear the girl child going in for her second helping. Is it good stuff? You love it? Okay, mystery food, a success. Would you like my recipe for mystery food tonight? Mystery food tonight was, we had about a pound and a handful of macaroni, boiled it till al dente, so about 9 minutes, and then I drained it, and I added 1 jar of white or Alfredo sauce to it, 2 cans of chunk chicken, a 2-cup package of shredded cheese, and let's see what else. Oh, and some corn, a bag of frozen corn in there, because corn goes good with everything, right? And so added that in there and put it in a casserole dish and put panko breadcrumbs on top of it and called it good. And apparently it is good. So cooked it in the oven on 350 for about 30 minutes. So yeah, it was what was in the cabinet. It was not planned by any way, shape, or form. But lately, some of those have come out really, very tasty. Quite interesting. I'm gonna quit fussing with this. I could keep fussing with this for hours and go from cool to oopsie. So I'm gonna stop before I go to oopsie. The color I put on the base was rust. Butterscotch is on the star, and then I used gold on the top. And because I use this water brush and it's old, I'm gonna put just a little bit of the blending solution in here to get some of that color out. But it's kind of stained this a little bit, and that's okay because it was, like I said, it was an old water brush. There's no water in it. It's just an old brush. So there we go. And that's pretty clean. And I'll use it for this again. It still has a little bit of green hue to it, but that's okay because once I put another color in there, it'll just go out, So, just so, put that there. I'll let this dry a little bit, and then we'll sparkle it later. But I love it. I think that's cool. I think people will enjoy having some of those. So, if nobody buys them, I'll put them in my store or give them as gifts because I like them. I think they're kind of cool. So, ta-da! Very nice. Thank you. So, we're not going to keep going on these. We're going to put these aside because we're going to play with these. So, I think these are going to be cool. Now, I'm going to do one big one and one medium one. That's what I'm going to do today. Maybe one small one too. And these also I want to make, into things to wear. And instead of using my alcohol inks, I am going to use some acrylic paint. And I can't decide. They're going to be for Christmas, so I think I'm going to go with the gold. The antique gold. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some remnants or scraps of some basic gray paper that I have. And so I'm just going to get out my paintbrush. There's a paintbrush. And do a little painting. Thank you, Dawn. I think they're pretty nice too. You can't see a thing I'm doing. Here we go. Hello! There's the... there it is. So, kind of just adding some color here. And this will take a minute to stick. It'll take a couple of coats to really get stuck on good. Now, to make this process go faster, instead of using acrylic, we could use the metallic inks because you see how fast they go on, right? But this I want to have kind of a mottled look on one side, and the other side we're going to put some paper on it, so you're not going to see it anyway. Yes, hello gold washer. So this is really just a treatment for the back and the sides. And I'm getting this on here pretty thick. So I'm going to set this little one aside and then pick up the next one. But where I'm going with this is I'm gonna paint these, and then I'm going to put my paper on the front side. And it's a pattern paper. It's a small pattern paper. What I'm using is the basic gray that I made my house with. Some of the little 6x6 papers that have a smaller pattern to them. For instance, like this one. That's kind of just a little patterny thing. And that'll be on that back side, or on the front side. And then I'm going to put some crystal lacquer over the top of that, real nice and thick. I could use crystal lacquer, or I could use the clear coat, clear cast on top of this, and let it just kind of melt over the sides. Either one. But I want to use the crystal lacquer because I know that's going to give me the exact application to where I want it to be. So I'm going to paint the back of this one. Yeah, I like the little candies. There's a couple different ones. And so what my plan is to do these and stick them on a ribbon, but first do like a little wire bail, and I have some little red and blue or red and green beads, or do some with silver and blue papers, and use some blue and white beads, and just have little dangles up at the top, and put it on a ribbon and make it real, festy like. Well, thank you, Dawn. I think it will look fun too. And again, it'll be a real simple, inexpensive little charm that they can just have for the holiday at festive cheer. If I was doing a craft show closer to Christmas, like in the next 2 weeks, I probably wouldn't bring something like this. I would probably bring something more, more in the lines of an item that would last, as an actual present. Whereas this might be somebody's present, but also this may be something people would purchase for themselves to wear during the holiday. So that's what I'm thinking. So, Dawn, what are you writing recipes for? Ooh. Well, that will be nice. You're having to rewrite them as you often just put ingredients? Ah. Are you handwriting them, or are they going to be typed in so that you can have them on your computer? And you could mass produce them if you needed to. Ah, handwriting them. Well, your guests will appreciate them, or your recipients. Okay, well, I'm destined to just touch this all over, so. Only special people get these? Well, that will be very nice. They will think they're very special. I think that's the cool part of, like, you know, grandma's recipes and stuff is seeing the handwritten recipe. My my boss last season, I helped her scan in the pages of her mom's recipe album or recipe book. It was all written in like a spiral notebook, and so we scanned them all in, and then she typed in many of like the family's favorites and stuff. And so what we did is we took pictures of the grandmothers and pictures out of pages of the book and indexed it and put it all together in a nice bound book, and made a electronic copy of it for, you know, some of the family members, but for like her mom and her brother and her aunts and stuff, we had the the people at Staples bind it for us in one of their simpler books, and it was very nice. They all enjoyed it, and you know, the younger people enjoyed getting an electronic copy of it and stuff. So yeah, I've got several. My mom is making a scrapbook cookbook of her recipes for us and for Bubba, for Will and Sam. So, and then Will has made a cookbook of his favorite recipes for his cousin. So we need to add some more to that, because Will has quite the repertoire of recipes that he really likes. So
I'm going to put her down, and then I'm also going to get our
clothing. What's wrong?
Hold on.
So there are those all painted. So let's do heat gun here. Heat gun, you ready? Now the neat thing about doing this in resin is while they're still kind of dampish, you know, while the resin could still be messed with, you could go in with your metal stamp tools. Like if you had some of the metal stamp tools, you could go in with those and imprint them without a whole lot of effort and do some really cool staining things. The other thing we could do is stamp on this with any of our favorite smallish stamps. And in fact, I have a set from close to my heart that is specially made to go on round things. So you could stamp on, you know, words in the round or whatever. Kind of moving these around, hoping not to bubble my paint, because it is so easy to bubble. This one is stuck. There we go. Because basically I'm painting on a non-porous surface, so it's real easy for it to bubble if you're not paying attention. Which might be cool for some looks, but not the look I'm going for tonight. So. Okay. That is so cool looking. Looks like old gold washer. Isn't that cool looking? So on that side, we need glue. Now what I want to do before I just plop it down and glue it, because I don't want to have to dink with trying to use my X-Acto knife to get to the inside. Oh, tip. Here's your tip. For sanding inside the hole, roll up your piece of emery cloth and like that. Let's see if I still have it in here. Yes. Rolled up my piece of emery cloth, and then use that to sand the insides of the holes. Works really great. Okay. So, let's see. I might do one with that. I really like that. And let's see. Ooh. I have a piece of this. That's kind of pretty. That's not gonna focus. Well, anyway, it's pretty. Trust me. And let's see. Let's see. That's kind of ugly. Ooh. Well, I have this piece, or I have some of these other ones. I have the little bitty flowers. I'll gobble them. I have little bitty snowflakey green. These snowflakes. That would be good for with silver. Remember we were talking about doing some silver ones? So I'm going to do those with that. I have these little red ones, which I like this little print better than I like this bigger print. So I think I'm going to do those three. Although I still have the little candies too. I want the candies more than I want this one. I want those three. So I'm going to do the candies. These are the three I'm going to do. So I think those will be fun. So the smallest one, obviously on the smallest piece of paper. The candies, I think on the middle one. And then the big one, I'm going to do this big one here. So what I'm going to do is move my paint plate, my paint paper. And I'm going to use a skinny black marker to go around, or a dark marker, because I don't see a skinny black marker. Use a skinny dark marker to go around. And the reason I'm using something dark is because I'm going to cut to the inside of the paper anyway. So being able to see it won't be a big deal. And so there we go. So that's what I have there for that one. So there's my, this one is still trying to stay with me. And we have this one. Okay, apparently I can't draw today. Let's try that again. There we go. Now, I need a pair of little scissors. Okay. Start with the little one first. Thank you, Dawn. I think these will look great too. I think these will make fun little necklaces. Like I said, my hope is people will see them and they'll be priced, you know, affordable. So that they'll go, oh, well, that would be a cute little thing to wear. And, you know, like I said, it's not too heavy. So I can, you know, if I was making these with real washers, oy vey, they'd be heavy. And the thought of adding some extra glass beads or something. I mean, I've got some really cool glass tile beads and some glass pony beads that in and of themselves are pretty heavy. And so you wouldn't want to get too carried away with adding them onto the metal. And so with this, adding them onto the plaster ones, the cast resin ones, it'll be just really simple. So what I want to do next is cast these in like clear and then embed stuff behind them, maybe. I think those would be cool too. or embed stuff in them, like little beads or little sequins or something fun. Just something fun. Okay, so this is going to go on here. And this is actually hanging off just a smidge. So I'm going to go around just a little bit more. Now, I'm going to adhere this onto my faux washer with some crystal lacquer, or not crystal lacquer, yes, some 3D crystal lacquer. Here we go. Sorry, had a mind lapse. Well, and this will adhere pretty quickly. I'll set that aside right there for just a second. Oops, you can't see it. There it is. Okay, I'm going to set it aside for just a second. And next I'm going to do this one. Oh, what? Oh, as in, oh my goodness. My paper ring. I think at least on the outside, I'm going to go back around it real quick with some sanding. Probably on the inside, but definitely on the outside. Well, maybe on the inside too. I don't know. Because I can come back and paint this again. That's not a big deal. But on the outside, I want it to be smooth to the faux thing here. And the easiest way to do that is going to be to, and I'm not putting like a gobbo glue on there. I'm just using a little bit. There you go. Little candies in that one. Let's see. So see this one? This one's already stuck good. And what I'm going to do is grab my big sander here and just kind of go around the edge a little. And the reason I'm doing that is to kind of make it roughed in good to the edge of the, make it smoother down through here. Now, we could very well have done this with just a plain piece of paper and stamp something on it. If we couldn't find any smallish kind of design that we enjoyed. Okay. And I'm okay with the way the inside feels. But I just kind of run around the edge. Yes, make it more flush. Thank you, Dawn, for good words. But see, now you can kind of see the white again. So I'm just going to very gently go around the edge of that with some gold before I put the final coat of lacquer over the top. And what's nice about this lacquer that I'm going to use is it's three-dimensional. So it's going to give me a nice deep coat and make it real nice and smooth. Now, if I was using this technique to do, like, say, little valentines or something like that, and I wanted them to be shabby chic, I could go back over this with some brown, a brown edger, and let it just swirl all over the sides there and stuff and be very shabby chicish. But this antique gold is perfect for what I'm doing because it's just, I don't know, when I think of Christmas, I think of gold. I don't know why, I just do. Well, you know, with the old Christmas colors, and then with the snowflake colors, I think of silver. Because of silver bells and snowflakes and whatnot. So, here I've gone back around with my gold. So, we'll let that sit for a minute. I'm gonna see, now this is nice and firm on here. Instead of trying to shave that much paper off, let's see if I can get you to see that with the sander, I'm going to trim it first with my little baby scissors and then do some sanding. But wow, got that one a little wide. It's kind of crazy. So there we go. And then I'm going to sand over that. And then again, that's sanded really fast. But on the inside, that I might use my little sander that I made for the inside of that. So see, using that piece that kind of is roundish or rolled up, it makes a real simple sanding device for getting inside that hole. Wow, really? Yeah, there we go. So you can see. And so that, I'm going to go ahead and paint again some gold on the inside there. And like I said, I'm gonna show you doing the crystal lacquer on here. And if you have any questions, I'll answer those. But really, that's about all there is to these. And then, you know, making a real simple little wire thing for it and closing them. So these two I'm going to go ahead and put some lacquer on so you can see that process, and then we'll call it a night. Lady, what do you think? So I guessed. So this is where we are. And like I said, I'm just using the Sakura Hobby Crafts 3D crystal lacquer. And I'm going to go in here and just get this on here. And because it's 3D, it does really stand up. I mean, it doesn't just... Glossy Accents has more... It runs more. It's a thinner viscosity. And this will stay up on top of that nice donut shape we have going on. Which I love that about it. So here, I'll come up closer so you can see that it's hanging up on there, you know. It's nice and thick and doing its thing. So I'm gonna do I went around the inside gold, but I didn't go around the outside gold. Isn't that funny? And then, like, so come across these with some little gold and green crystals. And it'd be fun if I had like a little inexpensive charm. And even if my charm was like brass or nickel, I could do the gold whatever you call that, alcohol ink on it and make it a gold charm. So I may go see if I can find some inexpensive little Christmas charms to add in. Yeah, I think crystals would be nice too. Some red and green and clear. Make your Christmas chakra. Wouldn't that be funny? That would be cute. There we go. So, I really like how these turned out. Now, after this dries, if I see I want to add more to make it even thicker, I could. I could add more lacquer on top and make it poof out even more, and it's real good about sticking to itself. This, I would like to let it sit for a good dry time overnight, so that it's just perfect. So I'm going to put these where nobody will mess with them and they can get a good dry on. But with my little mold, I'll be able to cast several, and you see how fast these go together, so that'll be simple. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So what do you think? You like simple casted crafts for Christmas? Haha, that's so alliterative. And I just love this too. So if I did nothing but paint this and then maybe lacquer it, I think that would be uber cool too. So there you go. Yes, stamp on it. Ooh, yeah, I could use some of the really cool, um, damask kind of pattern things that I have for tea bag folding. That would be really cool. Or spirally things. Or I have this too. This is kind of fun. Just do a pattern. Hang on. Do a pattern of circles. So it'd be like these little circles all over it. So there's tons of fun stuff you could do with those. Those are, I mean, little circly shapes. They're a good thing. They make me happy. Yeah. I think it could be lots of fun things. So let's look at our tree again. Where'd I put the tree? If you were a tree, where would you be? Oh, tree. Oh, here it is. Okay. Ooh, tree is good and dry. Tree. Ooh. And look how shiny it is. Now see, I could crystal lacquer that too if I wanted to just kind of, you know, finish it off with that. But I think just a little bit of glitter might be fun on the edges of the branches. So I have some real pretty glitter that I'm going to use. Go along the edges here and here and here. And then use a little E6000 to put a loop on it and put a ribbon on it. Make a festive little Christmas tree that will belong to someone. Thank you, Dawn. I think it looks awesome too. I'm very excited. Fun casted. What do we say? Casted Christmas coolness. That's what we ought to call this. That is it. That is the title, baby. Casted Christmas coolness. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for enjoying me messing up my manicure. It's not so bueno now. So see, we needed to see it when it was all bueno before I did this, because that's what happens. So, and I will not be here Friday because this is not my normal Friday, but I will definitely be back next Friday, December 9th at normal bat time. Here, let's see. Normal crafty gig time is the second and fourth Friday of the month at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think that's 6 p.m. Dawn Time. And you can follow me on my blog at leslieray.blogspot.com. And on Facebook, it's Leslie Ray's fan page. And I am Leslie Ray on Twitter. Except for the amazing mold putty and the amazing casting resin, basic gray papers and the alcohol inks are all provided by cutandpastememories.com. And I believe she's going to start carrying some of the Sakura Hobbycraft products as well. I know she can special order them for you. So thank you again, and I appreciate you stopping by. Have a great week. Thank you.